All right. Today we've got Josh Heller with Mirage Productions talking about video for businesses and kind of the impact of that. And I think we've got a good outline for this today to really just bring businesses a ton of value. So Josh, tell me a little bit about yourself, your business, and, just kind of your elevator speech, man.
Okay, well, I'm Josh, owner-operator of Mirage Productions. We're a video production company. We specialize in videos for businesses, small local businesses, mid-sized businesses, large businesses. And what we focus on is really any kind of video production, whether it be marketing or training that a business needs. If you need a training video for your employees, if you need a TV commercial, if you need videos for your website or social media, whether it be a one-off video or monthly videos, weekly videos, we pretty much handle all that. We even do some live events if needed. But yeah, our specialty is advertising for businesses using video production.
Nice, man. Yeah. I like that. That's not even something really I've put a lot of thought into, is kind of the regular ongoing videos, right? Just creating regular content, which a lot of businesses need. That's pretty cool. So you're able to just kind of set a schedule up with a client, and like what kind of businesses do you think benefit from kind of ongoing video production like that, like regular, say monthly or weekly or whatever?
I think a lot of businesses can benefit from it. Of course, sitting down with the business owner and finding out their marketing needs and the reason behind why they would want weekly or daily content. Some businesses that would benefit from it are businesses that have a lot of different types of products that they want their customers or future customers to know about, or businesses like maybe financial or real estate institutions that maybe want to make themselves more known on the grid or on social media, or a way to get clients in there by maybe posting daily tips or trends that are happening in their field that they want clients or potential clients to know about.
Oh, nice. Awesome, man. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about kind of the impact of professional, because I know it's kind of easy for, everybody has a nice iPhone these days, right? They can just go in and take video, but kind of what separates, more professional production from, just taking my iPhone and doing the best I can?
It is amazing what phones can do nowadays. I've been caught using my phone for some professional production myself, but I think there's a time and a place for that particular type of integrating that technology. I think I've had a client in the real estate business who just was the type of person that just on the fly at any moment during the day, he had a thought that he wanted to get out to his customers. So, of course, throwing that up there with your iPhone is the easiest, most effective way to do that. And he had enough experience to where he knew that it did seem to be good lighting and good sound, and they always tried their best for that. But then he called a professional in. I did a few videos for him where it was a more thought out, concise, planned attack on that marketing and advertising strategy. And that's kind of something that you do want to show your customers or your potential customers and clients, is that just like anything else, whether it be, an audio radio ad or print ad or something that, involves graphic design, you don't want to just quickly throw it up in 5 seconds if you're putting something out there that is representative of your brand, of your business. So I think there's the time and a place to throw something up with an iPhone, and I think there's a time and a place to plan and organize and get a professional in there who knows about lighting and about marketing techniques and direct marketing, advertising, and different things like that to really set the stage for a nice polished video for your business.
Nice.
What makes a marketing video like successful? Like, what are the elements that really make make a good video that's going to be effective?
I think what makes a video effective for businesses is we go in and we sit down with the business owner or the person in charge of marketing or both, and find out. Video production is just another tool in your marketing toolkit. You need to use it effectively for it to work. So we like to sit down and discuss, like, what are your goals this month for advertising, or what do you want to bring in, or what do you want to convey to your customer, and really kind of getting that outline. And I do have experience in direct marketing and the whole call to action. If it's a commercial where you're just trying to get the phones ringing, you need to have those proper call to actions in place. They need to be able to know where to call, where to email, directing them to your website. And then, again, I said sitting down with the business owner or the marketing person and really hashing out what the goal is. Are we putting out just information to keep our brand name out there? Are we trying to drive a particular product or service this particular month? And I think getting all that written out and then coming up with a creative plan to execute that is what makes a good, effective video.
Yeah, this is great. I know we've collaborated on a few projects, and it definitely makes a world of difference. I've seen it make a difference. Like, we had one client that they obviously Josh remember, so I guess I'm kind of speaking to Carl here. Is they made this big long script, and they thought they were just going to go on camera and then read this huge script and have it sound natural. And it's like, man, it's one thing to think, to plan it out and, think you have all the details. But once you sit in front of that camera, it is so difficult. I've done shoots with other businesses as well, where we did the same thing. And it's like, you're not accounting for how nervous you are and how your brain kind of shuts down in that scenario too. It's very nerve wracking, obviously. And so Josh, I've seen him kind of take control of those situations and really cut it down to the bare minimal that it needed to be, and then really kind of chop it up into small chunks as well, so that they were able to make it through it. And I thought that was, had it been just me there, the video would have been a disaster. So for sure, like, if you're really trying to get a professional production quality video, like, you do want a professional there for a lot of reasons too. Another thing I struggle with is lighting alone. Like, I can never get lighting right. Look at the lighting in my office. It's terrible. It makes me look pasty white. Man. Yeah.
For sure, I agree. Just one thing to add to that is the nice thing about having a professional there to not only consult with, but take care of the production is that, the business owner or the marketing person, you are at your job to do one specific thing. When you start taking on a role like now, you need to be your own script writer, you need to be your own videographer, you need to take care of your own lighting and audio, and some people can juggle that mix very well, but others aren't able to or don't even want to. So I think having a professional come in and take that worry off your hands, like, hey, you just worry about what you need to say about your business, and we'll take care of the rest. We'll make you look good.
Right. You even help with script writing too, right?
Totally. Yeah, we do help with script writing. Whether it be just taking things off something that you've already written for your business and converting it to something that might read better on camera, or sitting down and getting bullet points from the business owner and actually creating a full script that flows on camera very well. Because sometimes the written word, needs to be condensed or rearranged to flow better on camera.
And so you offer a variety of services, though. You're able to do anything from instructional videos to commercials to music videos. You've done quite a few of, I've noticed. Um, what are kind of some of the trends going on right now that you see in video?
I think for businesses, some of the trends, a lot of the classic stuff doesn't go away, which is I make a lot of videos for businesses where we'll interview the business owner or interview past customers and for testimonial videos. Those seem to always trend well, and new and potential clients always want to see something where they get an inside look into the business or hear a good story from a past customer. But like I said, depending on the business, I've got a client right now where they're in the air conditioning and cooling industry for a specific niche market, developing these condensers and compressors and air conditioning units for RVs and different travel vehicles. And they put out weekly content just for their kind of niche, where their goal is to get people in that industry, whether they're working on the equipment or the ones that are purchasing these vehicles and need the equipment for them. They're putting out content that would interest those particular people. So it's definitely a niche area, but they've found their audience, and they try to supply content to keep their brand name alive and aware. So, like I said, it kind of just depends on the business, but there's a lot of trends where people are putting tips and tricks in that particular field, or maybe you don't need to hire someone to fix your water heater this year, but that particular company might want to put out content on ways to keep your unit running smoothly in between service times.
Nice.
So it is good to sit down with the business owner and find out the kind of things that they are wanting to talk to clients about, and we kind of make our own trending areas for them.
Nice. Setting the trends.
So, I was thinking. I mean, is there sort of a move from when I think of marketing? I mean, it's all marketing, but is there sort of a move from advertising the business? It sounds like there's kind of a move from that to the business just putting out more information. Is that?
I think because of the trends of social media, where people are just looking for content to consume, okay. I think it does help sometimes for a business to, if they want to be more known, to maybe think about putting out some sort of content that keeps their name out there.
Okay.
And it works for some people, and it doesn't work for everybody. But I think there's a way to, you've heard so much, not so much lately, but you hear so much about viral videos. And I've had people ask, like, well, can you make me a viral video? And the truth is, there's no way to actually set out and make one.
Right.
They just tend to go viral because you've hit something that really strikes with people. So I think the key is to really know your business, know what you want to convey, and then you can kind of get creative from there. And then the main goal is to get your name out there. If something were to go viral or something were to kind of trend, then I think that's an added bonus.
Yeah. I think just staying in front of mind, right? Like just constantly. Yeah. I mean, between your website, email marketing, social media posting, and video really opens up more channels, right? I mean, YouTube, people forget, I think, that YouTube is really a great search engine, right? Like, how many times do you just go to YouTube to find something, just skip Google altogether, right? Especially if it's, if I'm not in the mood to read, I just want to relax and just consume some content. I mean, especially long form informative content. I think YouTube's the way to go. and it ranks really well. I mean, do any Google search for anything informative about learning, and usually your top few spots will be YouTube videos, and social media is great, but it's already got a lot of eyeballs on those platforms. But you don't typically see Instagram pages ranking, right? And so you got to think when people are hiring a service for a service, generally they're going to go to Google. We still find that, and so it's a great spot to show up. And social media is great too, but obviously they have to be short and punchy, right? I mean, it's got to be a thumb stopper, as they say, right? And I mean, you can get longer form content on Instagram. They're always changing the algorithms with that stuff and the rules. So yeah, but I think value. I'm always about value. So, if I can get information on, like, for HVAC, I mean, if I'm scrolling through and something catches me on like how I can save money with my HVAC system, maintain it better, and it's a ton of value. It's an actual technician walking me through something, or walking me through the savings on a specific thermostat, smart thermostat, and those benefits. I mean, I think those are really great value propositions.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how is there, and I know there's ways to kind of measure ROI on video content, right? Like we could, launch a video, and that's another thing is video opens you up to additional advertising platforms. I mean, advertising on YouTube can be really cheap compared to other avenues. And you can even measure ROI on that. For example, if you're putting a phone number and you say provision a phone number like a call in a call tracking software, you can put that same phone number in all of your videos, so you at least start to get an understanding of what's going on with that. And then of course, seeing refers right in your analytics going from your YouTube channel to your website, right? Then you capturing that. So having tracking in place obviously is the best way to gauge your ROI on video content. But what are maybe some other ways that I'm not thinking of?
Let's see. I definitely think that utilizing YouTube and Google Ads is definitely a good way to make sure that your video is getting out there and you can get that return on investment. I think utilizing the platforms properly. You said it earlier when you were talking about YouTube, like people will put that search into Google if they're looking for something specific, and then those items will usually come up in a YouTube search, or Google will bring you to YouTube. But I think the proper placement of the video, like if you're putting out tips and tricks and different things like that, I think YouTube and TikTok now, I think are great for that. If I have a client that's putting out just kind of like a sizzle reel or image branding, like say for a restaurant or different things like that, I think Instagram is a really great kind of thing for that, because it is, like you said, they're usually a lot less time and content, a lot shorter videos, and that type of platform makes great for seeing return on investment if you've got just really quick things to say, or just really great visual. And I think YouTube is great for putting out a lot of longer form content, where you might get someone's attention span a lot more than some of these other quick kind of things like TikTok and Instagram. And you can definitely, I'm not real familiar with measuring all the analytics on like TikTok and Instagram, but I know using Google Ads and YouTube, you can definitely kind of measure that return a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you hit the nail on the head. Is growing your Instagram and TikTok, and I don't have I don't have really any experience with TikTok, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, that is a good point though. Like growing those channels, because every time you get that follow or that like, they're going to see more of your content, right? And then you grow that channel more and more, and now you're in front. So if you're, say, a local restaurant and you put out a great piece of content and you get some more followers and likes. Well, now every time you post Taco Tuesday or, whatever it might be, you're getting more eyeballs and you're getting more people to show up and say, hey, that looks great. Hey, that's near us, So again, it's just being front of mind. But yeah, I think that's definitely a great point there. All right. Another thing I want to talk about was storytelling. So we know that stories sell, right? I mean, that's really a big part of kind of the content writing that we do. How are you kind of able to, I know it's part of script writing, but obviously the video itself has to kind of tell a story as well. I know I've kind of gotten into, with the video side of things, just because I do it, I don't do it professionally. I don't do it at your level at all, man. I mean, I go in there with my iPhone, my GoPro, and I do the best that I can. Because I just do it as like, most clients don't want to do it. And honestly, I got to like really talk to them. Sometimes I just throw it in for free, especially if they're a local business. I love doing it. It makes building the website so much easier when we have authentic photos and videos. So I often do it for free, depending on of course, the budget and the size of the project, right? So, but telling a story, both verbally and through video, do you have like a process for that? Do you have like a storyboarding process? How do you do that, man?
Usually what I like to do is, and storytelling is a great thing to touch on, because one of the things I really like to do is put, if it fits with the business. But one of the things that we do sell is put out a video that tells the story of the business owner, why they do what they do, why they love it, what value do they bring to their customers, what type of product do they have or service. And I'll meet with the business owner and ask questions. And a great video that we like to put out is where it's more of an interview type setting, where some of these questions that we come up with in our meeting, I will ask them on camera. And we will make like a little, 90-second story of that business, and really get to know the business owner, the who, the why of that business. And that's a really fun video to put out, because it lets customers and potential customers get the emotional part of that owner's story. And I would much rather, spend my money in a place where I kind of know the owner's passion and the reasoning behind why they do what they do. But ultimately, even if we're not doing that particular kind of video, we do like to meet with the business owner or the marketing person and just ask questions. Who they are, what they do, why they do it, what they're looking to sell in their business or their service. And that's what needs to go in a video to make it effective and to get that return on investment. People need to know all those things that are going on with that business. Nice.
I like that. Start with why, right? Simon Sinek. I don't know if you know who he is, but he has that start with why, I think, is his a big part of what he talks about.
What's the why?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously there's a lot of video platforms out there, like we just talked about: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Is there kind of a different approach that you take to each of these platforms, right? I mean, like, you probably don't make the same obviously lengthwise is different, but is there any other kind of approaches you kind of handle for these different platforms?
I touched on it a little bit earlier. I think that if I'm doing, like, let's say a restaurant, for example, if I'm working with a restaurant, sure, we can put out one video and distribute it across all the platforms. It will work. But a lot of times we'll shoot like something like 90 seconds to 2 minutes, like in an interview type video. And then from that, we can pull smaller videos out of that to put on to, like, let's say like Facebook, Or we might take the footage of the restaurant that we shot, you know, the really nice images of the food, of the servers, of happy customers. We might make then a 15-second out of that, throw that on Instagram with some nice music and some good visual. So I really think that even though you can put the same video on all the platforms, it's really good to know what platform you're using and why. Like, you wouldn't necessarily put a really long interview form on Instagram, because it's Instagram and TikTok is usually a little bit smaller. If you don't grab them the first 10 seconds, they're on to the next video. Mm. Whereas I think Facebook and YouTube play a little bit better to a little bit longer form, maybe 30 seconds to 90 seconds, even 2 minutes, and can handle more of a traditional commercial style or even interview form a little bit better than some of the other platforms. So I think knowing what you're going to put on which platform and why, I think would really help that business in their advertising.
Hmm. Yeah.
If you're, sorry. I'm just curious. When you're working with a client and they ask, you know, for a 2-minute storytelling video, how long can they expect to be in front of the camera that day?
We can usually be in and out of there, or at least be on camera for no more than 30 minutes.
Okay.
You know, we try to get the questions formed before that. But if someone needs to, we can script them out a little bit, but ultimately the best is when it's more of an interview style where you're not necessarily reading from a script. You're answering these questions from the heart, basically. And I'll usually sit down. I've got a lot of experience of doing interviews, and I'll usually sit down and be the one to just do it face to face. The cameras are rolling, but you're looking at me and not the camera. We're just having a conversation with what I tell them. And we just kind of go through those questions. If they need to go through it a couple of times to you know, get the nerves out, we do that. But usually it's, you know, just 4, 5, 6 questions, and I think 30 minutes on camera is usually doable for getting that down to about 1 minute to 2 minutes. That's a really good content.
I like what you said about leveraging the content. I think that's one thing even I forget to do sometimes. It's like, even a video like this, like, we could make this into, say it ends up being an hour. I mean, realistically, we could probably make at least, you know, 30 small, short value chunk videos out of it, possibly, depending on, you know, how dense it is. So I think even if they are doing long form, you know, utilizing that as much as possible. I mean, you might as well break it into as many small chunks as you can for social media. And there are even ways to kind of repurpose it and say, and this is where I've kind of messed up in the past, is the way you're recording the video. Like, if you're not centered in it, then you're not going to be able to, it's going to be harder to put it in like a portrait format for, say, Instagram, right? So you got the kind of taller format, right? But I mean, you can do kind of the square works too. I don't see any issues with that. But yeah, cutting them up, utilizing it, even turning it into a blog post too. You know, getting that embedded on your site. I think there's so many ways to utilize that video. So it's not like you're paying for a video and that's it. It's like, man, you could chop that up into so much. It's like, even when I'm doing photo shoots for clients, it's like, my last photo shoot, I got 2,500 photos, and the client sent me 500 photos. So now we've got 3,000 photos, and I'm going to get those edited, right, by someone who's good with Lightroom. And then it's like, you could post, 1 to 2 posts per day for, over a year. You know, you could even do more depending on how many. I mean, if I do 2,500 photos, I count on maybe 300 of those photos being good, right? Worth using.
Yeah. So
again, it's just about leveraging your content. You know, it's like, just because you got one photo shoot done or one video shoot done, it's like, that's not a wrap. That's a ton of content for you to use over the next year or two, even so, or longer. So, but I think that that's a good segue into budgeting. So, like, what advice would you give to a small business that has a limited budget? Like, what can they do?
I would say, don't rule professional video production out because you're maybe only have 10% of your marketing budget available. There's lots of options when it comes to video production. I would rather spend a shorter amount of the time shooting, and just get as much content in a short amount of time, and be able to put something really nice for you than to have you go, I'm just going to skip doing any video content at all. What I pride myself in is I shoot and edit, and everything I do is of standard to if it was going to run on broadcast television. So we try to take the quality part out of the picture. And because I have experience shooting and editing and putting everything together, I kind of maximize the time when we are on a shoot. There's a term where you shooting for the edit. I kind of, see the editing. We do all the planning beforehand. So when we come in there and shoot, we kind of know already kind of the route we're going to go down, and it makes for, a little bit less time of shooting, and we can get to the, where you're kind of looking for budget wise. I would say always sit down with the professional and kind of see what you're going to get for the money. Because I think people would be surprised, as far as the value they can get. And I, just like anything else, if you're going to do a print ad, or if you're going to do, something where you're buying space in a magazine or a brochure or a newspaper, the same with video. You're going to be paying for that service. And I think video production is a useful tool, especially in this day and age. I know us and many other companies can handle multiple budgets, and I never sacrifice quality if you have a smaller budget. Smaller budget might just mean we spend, instead of 3 hours with you shooting, we're going to spend 1.5 to 2 hours shooting. Maybe we're going through customizing templates versus spending your money, designing something where we're storyboarding something out and drawing something from scratch. There's definitely ways around to your budgeting needs.
Nice. I like that. You offer, so I'm guessing you probably offer at least an initial free consultation of some sort just to help business owners out. Is that right?
Yep. I always do a free consult.
Cool.
When you give us a call and you want to talk, whether it's over the phone or Zoom, or me actually coming to your business and sitting down with you, I never charge for that. Pretty much leading up to when we've kind of finalized the direction you want to go.
Nice.
So you can get a really good idea before any money is spent, kind of what we're going to be doing and for you, and what it can do for your business.
That's awesome.
How do you sort of develop expectations around that? When a client comes in and they're, have you had someone come in imagining something much larger than their budget allows?
Yeah, that happens a lot. I think, sometimes the movie that you can project in your head is not, sometimes you've got Steven Spielberg in your head when in reality you're doing a little bit more closer to home type stuff. But I think we do a pretty good job managing those expectations. Obviously, I can handle a budget from $250 to $30,000. I don't think there's going to be, I never sacrifice quality. If I'm doing a $250 video for you, it's going to look really good. And the main thing is that we've talked beforehand. So whether it's a $250 video or a $30,000 video, we're going to be handling the concept exactly how you want it. We're helping your business. We're conveying that message. It's just a question of how that's going to look and how we're delivering it. So, in that initial meeting, if someone's like, okay, well, we want somebody to be skydiving for this thing, and we don't have the funds this year, then, we try to, talk that down a little bit and say, okay, well, realistically, what are we trying to do, and get them on a page where they're going to be happy with both the budget and the concept and the ultimate result.
Nice, man. That's awesome. That's huge value. Yeah. I mean, for businesses that are considering videos, why not sit down with a professional, get some ideas, brainstorm a little bit, right? So yeah, what do you see kind of in the future for video? Is just quality changing? What's kind of on the horizon maybe for the future of video production?
Technology is always going to be changing. We see that with our phones. I see it with professional equipment all the time. Regardless of if you're going small budget or big budget, I think a lot of the changes do help as far as quality, even with lower budget productions. What I see probably on the horizon is maybe, as much as I don't want to be out of a job, AI is certainly coming into play. And I think just like any sort of technology, whether you think it's a good technology or bad technology, I wouldn't, as much as I don't want AI editing all my videos for me, I think there's a place for it. Mm-hmm. I think, it can help with script writing, with faster turnaround, with things like that. So instead of a week turnaround on generating a script, maybe we're utilizing AI to help kind of formulate your thoughts that, if you're stuck on how to really get your script concept together and make those bullet points that you want about your business really pop. I think utilizing some new technology like that can give a fresh perspective, and then you can go in and kind of customize it a little bit more on your own. But so I think certain technologies like AI are kind of helping. Before we were on air, Nathan, you were mentioning some AI tricks that we're coming across where AI is assisting with kind of being able to help the person on camera focus on the camera while still being able to look away and read a script. Mm-hmm. So, and AI will generate to where it doesn't look like they're looking away. So I think there's some really cool things coming where technology can help with that. Mm-hmm. Different things like even in Photoshop, AI is using some AI to generate, extended backgrounds to where your picture gets maybe cut off where you didn't want. Photoshop can use AI to help extend that to where it looks like there was maybe more background in a photo than was originally there, or easier steps to eliminate things that you didn't want in your video or your picture. Mm-hmm. Maybe you didn't realize there was an ugly lamppost standing or a trash can in the shot. Right. And AI has become really good at kind of eliminating different things like that. So I think there's some really cool technology pieces coming on the horizon that's going to make these types of videos smoother and able to get content out faster.
Yeah, I don't think AI is taking over our jobs anytime soon. I think it allows us to bring more value at even a cheaper cost to our clients, right? Because you still have to be able to interface with that AI. And that's kind of one thing we've been pushing to our clients. A lot of clients are like, well, I could write the content with ChatGPT. Well, okay, you still have to do keyword research. You still have to have a framework and a structure. You still have to, write detailed prompts, very detailed prompts. And there's all kinds of acronyms for creating prompts. And I think that's kind of where we're at right now. I mean, AI is good. And I've even used AI to generate, like I playing with Chat GPT and plugins, right? Because the plugins are big now once you activate the beta mode. So you can activate, like I was playing with this one where it could write the video script and produce the video all in just one prompt. And so I did it, and the script was good, but the video was like, it was like all kind of cheesy stock photos and stuff. And it's just, I'm sure if you prompted it more and things like that, but again, that's interfacing with it. And I think there's a lot of other cool things on the horizon, which is like you could train yourself, Josh, for example, of once you video yourself enough and you train it on your voice enough, you could actually just write a script and it would look pretty good. It would look like you actually talking to the camera and creating a video, even though you never went on camera for that specific video. So there's all kinds of really neat stuff coming through, and I do plan on experimenting with those. But again, you have to know how to use that software. It's like anything. It's like, even, and there are even, I've seen some cool software that, will actually edit the entire video for you, but I still feel like there's a lot of human element in there. Like, it doesn't always know who to be on, especially if you have multiple camera angles and stuff like that. So, I feel like the human element's still going to be there for a very long time. But again, we're just able to bring more value to more clients at even cheaper price. And, we're happy to pass that on to our clients and utilize those. So exactly. We definitely want to be on the cutting edge, and I definitely make time, probably at least a couple times a month, I'll just go down a rabbit hole of AI stuff, right? Like, let me just play around with this. And see, I think last Sunday is when I was, not this Sunday, but the prior Sunday is when I was really starting to play around with the Chat GPT plugins, because there's more. I guess even Chat GPT is releasing what they call GPTs, which are going to be more specifically designed, kind of using their environment. So I'm excited to see, what comes out of it. But yeah, again, I think, we still need that human element. It's like, even like, like I'm not going to be worried about an AI creating a website. There are AI software where you can say, oh, build me a website. Sure, you could do that, but there's so much more. It's like, okay, is it going to know what photos to choose for those scenarios? I don't know. Is it going to go out and do photos for you and know how to place those and do the photo editing? Because even if you as a business owner supply those photos, the lighting's probably not going to be very good. I mean, I have to do a lot of post-production even on my photos to get them to look good. Like I was saying, if I do 2,500 photos, I might get 300 good ones, but only 100 are going to be like, those are nice photos, like something I'm actually proud of, right? So much human element goes into that.
Totally agree.
I know we talked a little bit about your collaboration process. Is there anything you kind of wanted to add to that? Because I know storyboarding, kind of planning. And I think a lot goes into it, and like you were talking about, it's like, I can't tell how many photos I've done where I saw like a Gatorade bottle, sitting on the side, or just something silly, or, getting the business owner to plan, like if you're going to do video of the trucks, washing the trucks, making sure that employees have branded t-shirts on and hats on when possible, making sure facilities are clean. I mean, there's so much that goes into the process and preparation. And, I know I've had that happen a lot where maybe, we didn't plan as well as we could. Do you have like checklists and kind of stuff for that to help clients out?
Yeah. When we sit down and do a planning meeting, as we get closer to the time where we're going to be executing that plan, we've got a checklist of what areas are going to be at your facility if we're coming by. If we're doing a one-on-one interview, the biggest thing I can stress is don't think you can wing it. I have had come into so many shoots where we've discussed beforehand. Here's the bullet points. I like things to flow naturally and not necessarily a memorized script when I'm doing an interview. But at the same time, I've been in so many situations where an owner has just said, well, I'm just going to wing it. I never even looked at it. And then the shoot ends up being, an extra 3 hours long. So I think that's the biggest thing is that never try to wing it. If you're going to be hiring a professional, treat it as something that, that is professional. Make sure you get with your employees if we're going to be touring the facility and getting footage. Make sure that if we're in a restaurant, there's nothing that's going to show up on camera that would point out that you're out of code for something, different things like that. And I try to have an extra eye going into certain things and looking for stuff that might be out of place. But ultimately the business owner is the one that's going to fall upon. And, if you're going to invest the money into some sort of video production, I would say treat that as you would anything else, in your professional environment. But yeah, I would say if you're going to be on camera talking, make sure you are prepared for that, just like you would any other speech if you were giving a speech to at an event or anything like that.
Yeah, really good point.
I think you're getting into this whole question of a real intentionality when making content, and I think that's part of the problem that many people experience is that if you do it well, it looks like a bit like you're winging it, but there's a whole lot of intentionality that goes behind winging it.
Yeah.
Right, of course. And I think with so many people doing content online, I think there's maybe a false sense of this is really easy.
Yeah.
I think for every 100 people you see making great content, there's probably another 3,000 people not making great content. So I think it seems like it's really easy. Sometimes it is for some people, and I think sometimes it's not. So I think being prepared is the best thing. Some people are really good at just winging it. I mentioned earlier, there's a client that I had that would just, anytime a thought popped in his head, he'd get that phone going and record something and just would talk. He was a good talker. And some people have it. Some people can do that really well. But I think for the most part, I think people would be surprised also that their favorite content creator, how much time they spend off camera getting ready. Or there were maybe 15 or 20 takes of that thing that you watched that you didn't get to see because they served up the most polished version to you. So you hit it on the head when you said intentionality. Have intention with everything you're going to do for video. Don't just let that camera roll, see what happens, and put that particular video out. This is a representative of your company, your brand. And most of the time, business, especially with smaller businesses, that's their heart and soul. So you don't want, the impression of your business to be like, it doesn't really look like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, like
so, and that's also the part of video production and some of the it seems like magic, but that having a video production person who knows what they're doing and can go like, okay, I understand you stumbled over that line. I know how to fix that so it doesn't look like you stumbled. And so your video production professional will be able to polish what you've done and make it seamless and make it seem like there wasn't 5 takes and different things like that. So, but coming prepared helps.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like how much, because I don't think people realize how much time goes into post-production, like per minute of video, like how much time is that editing, would you say?
Per minute, it kind of depends a little bit on the type of content you're doing, but for example, I'm currently working on a video right now in the HVAC kind of genre, and we had about 60 minutes worth of content that needed to be knocked down to about 16, 20, and you don't just watch that 60 minutes once while you're editing. I mean, you watch it once, then you watch it again, then you start cutting it down, then you're filling in over things that you've cut down. And so it could take several hours, sometimes 10, 20 hours to cut down something big like that to something that's smaller and polished. People are surprised sometimes when they hear I work 10 hours on a 30-second commercial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally get it.
Because it's not just, it's 30 seconds long, so it should take you just a couple minutes, right?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes where you're maybe polishing how the footage looks. Maybe you're cleaning up audio. Maybe there was too many stumbles where a person was having ums and ahs, and you want them to sound a little bit more polished. So you've got to kind of fine tune that a little bit to have the dialogue come off very smooth. So
I'm guilty of that.
So yeah, it kind of depends on the project, but me too. It depends on the project I'm working on, but yeah, it could be, for every minute of content, there could be a good hour or two that goes into the editing process.
Yeah, and I bring that up so people realize the value and the time and effort, because I think we build websites. A lot of people think, oh, it's just a web page, it goes up. It's like, no, it's like we want to bring you a ton of value. We want to make sure it's as visible as possible, considering your authority in Google. So we have to everything, the keyword density is considered. So, but yeah, so I want to bring up something too, and this is kind of part of the preparation question. And because it's an issue I've ran into a number of times now, is that I'll do a photo shoot, and then soon after, an employee that I got a bunch of great photos of doing action shots is fired or laid off. And now it's like, oh, now we can't use those photos. And, it's partly my fault, because I should go. I guess I think I should probably take on the role of just getting signatures, making sure that the client gets those signatures. But ultimately, it falls in the client's hands. Is part of preparation. Like if you're gonna hire someone like Josh or a professional photographer, get those consent forms from your employees, because you never know what shots are going to be the best. Like I was totally bummed when my recent one, in fact, yeah, the one you helped me out, Desert Services, one of the employees there is no longer working there. And it was some of my best shots. It was some really great shots. I was really proud of them. I put them on the site. I was like, oh, this looks amazing. And then the client's like, we got to take those off. I was like, oh man, are you serious? I was bummed out. I was really bummed out.
Yeah, that is definitely something that to work out. And it's sometimes things that we don't realize, but definitely something to work out in your planning meetings is who's going to be in the video. Is there any chance if this person was not here anymore, would you still want them in the video? Definitely consent forms are good. I use a pretty standard one that I hand out sometimes, or the employer can come up with stuff. Depending on the company, sometimes the bigger companies will have just a standard, like when an employee is hired, it's understood and you sign off when you're hired that your likeness can be used in promotional material for the business. But definitely something to talk about with the business owner when you're getting ready to do something like that.
That's good, man. That's good. Could I steal that from you? If you're up for sharing the consent form, I'll take it. If not, I totally understand. But yeah, I need to get one, because yeah, it's now been an issue on at least 2 projects. So, and I think you hit it there, is that employers should just have them sign that, right? I mean, if you're on the facilities, you're consenting to be videotaped and photographed, I mean, unless there's some reason not to, you're in the, protection program or something, like why not? Sure. But yeah, no, I mean, you're working for the business, you're a face for the business, you should promote that business. It is if you work there, it is your livelihood, right? So why would you not want that business to be successful? And I think that's something that a lot of employees forget. It's like, an employee, it's completely just a off topic tangent in some ways, but it's like, how are you going to work for a business and then, not be incredibly happy that a customer has walked in the door? What I mean? That is your lifeblood. You should even if you're busy, you're having a bad day, it's like, you're representing that business. And it's the same for you're representing and promoting, right? Because I mean, if you get a bad review, it's often because of some employee who is, maybe having a bad day or just not good with people, So, but yeah, I mean, why not? Why not rep your company? I know I would. Obviously, I do because I own a business. But I know if I work for a company, why not? I'd want to be on their website, But yeah. Anyhow, so I think that kind of brings us to the next topic, which is, what are some of the challenges you run into, with overcoming some of the video production challenges? Like what are those,
Well, I touched on it a little bit. I think the main challenges that I run into is that somebody not being prepared.
Yeah.
I think that can be a challenge sometimes, and I totally get it. I mean, that's why they've hired a professional video person, is because a lot of times the business owner just doesn't have time to do it, and sometimes a business owner is kind of told by their marketing person, like, hey, we got to do this. And they may not have been on board necessarily, so maybe they're not coming as prepared as you would hope. But I think when you hire a video production person, they should be experienced enough to be able to wrangle somebody in who maybe wasn't as prepared. I think with the years experience I had with interviewing people on camera and just having to do video production from concept to completion kind of helps me in those situations because I can take a hold of the situation and I believe there was a client that we mutually collaborated with where they thought they were going to be reading a very long detailed script and I was able to, but being able to consistently do that on camera was very tough for them. So I was able to go in and say, okay, look, you tell me the most important part of this script that you want to be saying directly on camera. And we only shot those parts on camera. Everything else we were able to creatively fill in with footage or, stills or different things and bring in music and graphics and bring an emotional element to that where I think he came off looking amazing. Mm-hmm. And so those are some of the challenges that will come into play. And I think there's always technology problems that will come up. With working with so much technology, batteries can die, memory cards can go, different things like that. And you always have to be prepared to have extra batteries, extra bulbs, extra SD cards or whatever. But I think the main challenge is just the preparedness of the person you're going to be doing this video for. And I think that falls a little bit upon the video production person to have that initial meeting or several meetings before you get into it and really prepare the marketing person or the business person for what they're going to be doing and kind of detailing that out. So on the day of the shoot or on the day of a voiceover recording or different things like that, that everybody's kind of on the same page and can make things go quickly and efficiently.
Nice. Yeah, and I think you made a good point is that, why not delegate? So I've worked with a number of clients where it's just like, they're too busy, I'm too busy, I can't do it. It's like, well, if you have somebody that's better for this, then delegate. If you've got someone who's a good talker or whatever, I think business owners think that sometimes they have to be the one to do it. Whereas if you've got, a great employee and they're a great talker and they're, they don't mind doing it, I think that's also a good idea. But to also expand on the technology, I'm so paranoid on shoots now with, I've had a number of memory cards just, go corrupt on me, and that your heart sinks. Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, so there's one brand I'm not going to mention, but I will never use them again. I've had a number of those. I only do like Samsung's the only one I'll use now after some of my experiences. So even for my computers, like Samsung, hard disk. There's that's the only one I trust. Let's just put it that way, man. I've lost a number over the years. So, but yeah, that one's rough. But so another one I want to kind of segue into, and I know I have for my business a number of success stories and really cool kind of scenarios. And I was wondering, what about for you? Do you have what would maybe be like one of your favorite success stories with a client?
Oh, good question. One that I really like was there's a mobile dentistry business in the Northwest Valley, and they wanted to start doing videos to do a little promotion of their business. And we came out, and I did an interview with the business owner. It came out fantastic. Answered questions really detailed and thoroughly, and was not nervous on camera. We got some great footage of them setting up their service in a retirement community, and we really promoted it and just did a really nice job with it. And that video they posted on their website, they posted on YouTube. I believe they even did some Facebook postings as well, and they increased their business quite a bit. It was a number of years ago, so I don't have the exact numbers, but they did increase their numbers and continued on with a couple more videos from us to help promote them. And they have since integrated their business into other areas where the owner co-hosts a radio show now and talks about different health issues in the senior community. So I think that business owner really utilized what video production can do, put it out in the right areas, and kind of led with it, and was able to kind of maybe grow their business a little bit more, and then branched out into other areas. So that's one of the stories that I like. Nice,
man. I like that mobile dentistry. That seems like a solid niche. That's cool.
It is a great niche. Especially out here, we've got the great weather and we've got snowbirds, and there's an influx of people who need services like that.
What would be some great advice for first time video clients? Like what they're maybe a new business or just exploring doing video. What would you say to them?
I would say for a first timer who hasn't really utilized this in their marketing, is to give us or any other video professional, give them a call and get that initial meeting. I do consultations for free. So if it's an area that you're thinking about, but are just really confused as to what direction to go, because there's lots of different areas you can go into with that. I would say, don't be afraid to listen to the professional advice. When I go in, I try to find out why they want to do video production. What are they looking to promote in their business? Is it just brand awareness, or are they trying to, highlight a specific service or product? And then try to tackle the issue of how we want to use video to best promote what they're looking to do. And, the consultation is free and easy, and I think it will open some people's eyes, and sometimes having that meeting can open up those creative juices that you didn't even think were there. So sometimes in fact, recently I went into a collaboration meeting with someone I did some videos for their insurance company, and we went in with just one small kernel of an idea, but by the end of the meeting we had 3 other ideas for 3 other videos, and we just kept rolling with it. And sometimes you need those meetings to really open things up, and you collaborate with different people, and you can get those ideas going back and forth. It's what brainstorming is all about, I guess, right?
Nice, awesome, man.
So don't be afraid, is what I would say. Just kind of see where that can take you, and just go for that first meeting, and you see if it's for you or not.
Nice. Carl, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I just had like one question around sort of around authenticity for small businesses, because I know you periodically use actors in some of your productions. Is that
Occasionally, yeah.
okay? What do you see as the benefit of when would you employ actors and over using the business owner in a scenario?
I think the best time to use an actor is when you are really looking to create something that maybe an emotion that can't be generated by maybe the business owner employees. I've done videos for like in the culinary industry. It was a culinary school, for example, years ago, and we did two different types of videos. There was a video where we were actually using real chefs and real students, and to kind of give like more of a highlight sizzle reel kind of a commercial. But then we also did one where there was an actual script and there were two people talking, and it really was better to have actors do that because they can memorize their lines, they can deliver the lines with emotion. Sometimes a trained professional is in the acting field is necessary, but I would say for most small businesses that for the types of videos we do, usually there's someone involved, whether it's the business owner or the marketing person, even an employee that is outgoing enough to where they can handle different things like that. But I think when you get into the more the acting side of things and hiring actors is when you're just really looking for polished lines delivered, more of a, if your video that you're looking to make is something that would consider, more like an act or a play, or, something where you're really looking for a professional to deliver some sort of an emotion. That makes sense.
Yeah. No, that does make sense.
All right, Josh. Well, yeah, we really appreciate your time, man. I really hope this brings the viewers a lot of value. I think it does, man. I feel like it brought me some value too, in terms of just, learning the process and, kind of the benefits, features, and a lot of the details that go along with this kind of stuff. So where can people find you, man? They're looking to hire you.
Oh, you can find me at my website, mirageproductionsaz.com. I'm also on Facebook at Mirage Productions AZ. Let's see. I believe Instagram is the same, at Mirage Productions AZ.
Nice.
And still working on my TikToks. I haven't released the TikToks yet, but my website does have all the information there. Phone number 623-521-5495. Email is josh@mirageproductionsaz.com. And my website does have samples. It has a great description of what we do. And pretty much everything you can find is there. So
Awesome. We recommend Josh as well. We've used him on a number of projects. So if you're in the Phoenix area, definitely recommend Josh. Reach out to him. You can't beat a free consultation with a brainstorming session. So that's going to go a long way. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate your time and look forward to working with you some more, Josh.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you me being here today. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Carl. Talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.